Okay, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to break down a really practical playbook, a four-step framework for success with AI agents. We're talking about how to move AI from just a buzzword into a real engine for growth in your organization. So let's start with the big question, the one that's at the heart of what a lot of companies are feeling right now. You might be seeing your AI tools, your co-pilots, saving a few minutes here and there, but are they actually creating deep, meaningful business value? This is the generative AI paradox. And bridging that gap is what we're all about today. Well, this is where AI agents come in. And the key word on this slide, the real game changer, is proactive. See, a simple co-pilot is reactive. It waits for you to tell it what to do. An AI agent, on the other hand, can take a high-level goal, figure out the steps all on its own, and then execute that entire workflow. That's the leap from saving minutes to completely reinventing how work gets done. So, to get you there, here's the playbook we're going to walk through. It's 4 core steps. We'll start with the strategic foundation, move to the execution engine, then cover the all-important human element, and finally, how to measure true success. After that, we'll wrap it all up with how to build a sustainable strategy that keeps you ahead for the long haul.
All right, first up, step 1, the strategic foundation. This is all about making sure your AI efforts are firmly rooted in actual business needs, not just chasing shiny new tech.
This right here, this is probably the most important mindset shift you can make. The number one mistake we see is companies building some cool AI tool and then running around trying to find a problem for it to solve. The winning approach flips that script completely. You start with the pain point. So how do you find those problems? Well, you use the tools you probably already know. You look at your value chain. You map out your business processes, and you zero in on those bottlenecks, those mind-numbingly repetitive tasks, the processes where errors always seem to creep in. Those are your prime candidates for AI agents. And the results? They can be absolutely staggering. Take the engineering firm Murray. By automating some routine tasks, they saved over 800 hours every single month. Imagine freeing up your sharpest engineers to do more valuable work instead. And it's not just one industry. Look at EchoStar. They're projecting they'll save 35,000 work hours a year by automating things like sales call audits and field service tasks. Again, think what a business can achieve with that much time handed back to it.
And this last example really shows the financial punch. Direct Mortgage Corp managed to cut their loan processing costs by a whopping 80%. See, they didn't just make things a little faster. They completely changed the economics of one of their core business functions. That's transformation.
Okay, so now you've got maybe a dozen great ideas. How do you pick where to start? This simple 2x2 matrix is your best friend. You just plot each idea based on its potential business impact versus how feasible it is to actually build. And that top right quadrant, that's your sweet spot. High impact, high feasibility. These are the quick wins that build incredible momentum. Now, before you go asking for a budget, you have to have a solid answer on risk. And Gartner's TRISM framework, it's really the gold standard here. It makes you think through the hard stuff, like, can we actually explain why the AI made a certain decision? How do we manage the model itself? We call that model ops, to make sure it stays accurate. And how do we protect it from bad actors or bad data? Answering these questions builds a credible, responsible business case.
All right, you've got your killer business case. Now we move on to step 2, building the execution engine. This is where the rubber meets the road. We're talking about the data, the infrastructure, and the project management that bring your vision to life. One of the first huge decisions is where your AI is going to live. The cloud gives you incredible scalability and flexibility. You're paying as you go, which is an operating expense, or OpEx. On the other hand, with on-prem, you own the hardware. That gives you tons of control and security, but it's a big upfront cost, a capital expense, or CapEx. For many, a hybrid approach actually ends up being the best of both worlds. Now, if you do go the cloud route, you're probably looking at one of these 3 giants. AWS is kind of the we-have-everything player with the broadest set of tools. Azure's big advantage? It plugs right into the Microsoft universe, which is huge for a lot of enterprises. And Google Cloud, or GCP, is just a beast when it comes to data analytics and pure AI horsepower. The right choice really depends on what you need and what you're already using.
Now, this is super important to get right. AI projects are just different. They're not like building a bridge where you know exactly what it'll look like at the end. They're exploratory. That's why the old school waterfall method, which is very rigid and linear, just doesn't work. You need something like agile, which works in flexible, iterative sprints. It lets your team learn, adapt, and improve the solution as they go. And this might be the most critical piece of the whole puzzle, the human element. I mean, you can build the most brilliant AI agent in the world, but if your people are scared of it, don't trust it, or just don't use it, then it's all for nothing.
This has to be your mantra. You have to hammer this home over and over again. The biggest fear holding back AI adoption is the fear of job loss. So your message, loud and clear, has to be that this is about augmentation, not replacement. We're automating the boring, repetitive stuff so that you, the human, can focus on the creative, strategic, high-value work that you do best.
And that's where upskilling comes in. But look, it's not just about teaching people which buttons to click. It's about developing the skills that are uniquely human, the things AI can't do. As AI gets better at handling the what, we need our people to become experts in the so what and the now what. That means critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and applying solid ethical judgment. Okay, last step of the core playbook, measuring true success. How do you actually prove that this huge investment of time and money was worth it? The secret is to look way beyond a single number. You really need a balanced scorecard. Yes, of course, track the financial wins like ROI and cost savings, but you also have to measure operational gains, like faster process times and fewer errors, and customer impact, like satisfaction scores. And don't forget employee metrics, like adoption rates. This gives you that full 360-degree picture of the total value you're creating. Okay, and this slide? This is genius because it solves a huge political headache inside a company. The big financial wins, those lagging indicators like ROI, they can take a year or more to show up on a report. But your leaders want to see progress now. By tracking leading indicators like adoption rates or cycle times, you can show real momentum and build confidence that the big results are on their way. It bridges that dangerous gap. So we've been through the 4 steps. But how do you make this last? How do you turn a single project into a continuous cycle of innovation? In this final section, we'll look at the 4 key things you need to build a truly sustainable AI strategy. And really, this slide pulls it all together. It's the whole playbook in a nutshell. Number 1, always start with a real business problem. 2, put people at the absolute center of your strategy. 3, measure success from every angle, not just the financials. And 4, foster a culture of learning and experimentation. This is how you win with AI, not just this year, but for years to come. So we'll leave you with a question to think about. We know that AI is about augmenting what we do, not replacing us. So think about your own role. What's the one critical human skill you have? Is it your creativity, your problem solving, your empathy? What's the skill that you could supercharge with an AI partner? And what amazing things could you unlock if you did?